The Red Sox little no-no was not stealing signs. The no-no was having a member of their training staff using an Apple Watch to get signs from someone watching video and then passing it on to players.
So, yeah. This is awkward. What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball video, and we have a juicy story on our hands. As you guys saw in the intro, we saw Ken Rosenthal talking about an incident back in 2017 when the Boston Red Sox were using an Apple Watch to steal signs. So the first thing I do have to say is that that clip will be the overarching theme of today's video because it draws a big line in the sand. There's cheating in baseball terms, and then there's cheating electronically. If you're stealing signs from second base and you're just doing one of these things and grabbing your cup to show that a changeup is coming, that is not illegal. What illegal is what Ken Rosenthal said, is if you are doing it electronically. And unfortunately, the Astros, they continue to have a rough couple last weeks. They lose the World Series, and now they're caught cheating back in 2017, the same year that the Red Sox were caught. So yeah, the year of 2017 Major League Baseball, kind of the cheating era. Now, before I show the clip again, I do want to make sure you guys know that I'm not really on either side. I've played baseball before. I understand that stealing signs is something that is always going to happen, but when you're doing it electronically, that is actually defined in the MLB rulebook to be illegal. So make sure you guys have that in your heads right now. And we're going to go ahead and roll the clip, and I want you guys to pay attention to fastballs and changeups. And I want you guys to really listen. If you have headphones, go ahead and listen right now. Fastballs, not really too much happening, but a changeup, yeah, you can hear some crazy stuff. So hopefully you guys were able to pick up on it, because if you were Evan Gattis, you now have an extreme advantage over Danny Farquhar. Now, this was before Danny Farquhar had his brain hemorrhage, so he's one of my favorite cards to use in MLB The Show, so he's nasty. And if you're Evan Gattis and the Astros, you're down by 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. This is the year that they won the World Series, so obviously they were a good team, but they wanted to be even better. Every time that Danny Farquhar threw a changeup, you could hear bang, bang from the Astros dugout. And on the third changeup, before he even threw the pitch, he stepped off. And there was an actual quote from Danny Farquhar. I actually can't find it, but trust me, I'm not lying to you guys. He said that he was throwing really good changeups. There was no way that Evan Gattis was actually able to predict these pitches, especially because he was throwing 94, 95 paint. He was on the fastballs, he was on the changeups. Even though he was really feeling himself, he was carving people up. Evan Gattis somehow seemed to know what he was throwing, and that's because he did. So in the last 3 seasons of baseball, we've seen quite a few teams actually being caught cheating, but only a few of them being caught cheating electronically. And the most infamous one was, of course, the Boston Red Sox. They had an Apple Watch. I'm not sure if it was the third base coach, first base coach, someone in center field. Whoever it was using an Apple Watch to send signs to 2 players. There are at least the players that were caught, Dustin Pedroia and Brock Holt. So both of these guys were receiving information about the pitches that were coming, the signs that the other team was using. So obviously, that is not permitted. You are not allowed to steal signs using camera angles, Apple Watches, iPhones, Fitbits, Tinder. You are not allowed to do that. So that's the line in the sand. There's the illegal side, and then there's the legal side. If I'm George Springer, let's pretend that this situation, Danny Farquhar is on the mound, we have Evan Gattis at the plate, and like I said, George Springer's at second base. He had a 1-out double, whatever it was. If he's doing one of these, or if he's just kind of, getting off the bag and kind of brushing his beard or something like that, that could mean changeup. That is completely legal. You can debate in the comment section all you want of if you like that, if that's breaching the unwritten rules of baseball. If you're asking me, someone who did play, it is always going to happen. Stealing signs happens in T-ball, it happens in club ball, college, the Little League World Series, it happens in the World Series. I think the Astros were actually under some fire as well for cheating, supposedly, allegedly cheating, because I don't know if they did, against the Yankees and then as well as the Nationals. I'm not too sure. There's no proof as of right now, but that's the question that we have to answer right now. Are you guys okay with teams picking up signs the normal way? If you have runners on and the catcher's just throwing down a 1 for fastball or one of these as the White Sox catcher was doing for a changeup, are you okay with that? If you're giving me signs and I have the competitive advantage because you're not doing your job and you're not hiding your signs properly, that's on you. There's nothing that I can do. If you're giving me free home runs, that's on you. But then there's the other side of the argument. It's still stealing signs, but it's doing it in a way where it's really not fair. It's not part of the game, because if I have someone watching TV, or if I have someone watching the live broadcast and then they're signaling in, hey, change up, bang, bang, and now Evan Gattis knows that a changeup is coming, so he's fouling these pitches off as opposed to striking out. If Evan Gattis then goes yard on pitch number 7 because, you know, there's no bang and he actually hits a home run, that's a big deal. That is affecting the game in a way that a runner at second base can't do if he doesn't know the signs. Because if a catcher and a pitcher, or if they're in full sync and they know exactly what pitches they're supposed to throw, if they know their patterns, the guy on second base, I'll be honest with you guys, there's too much going on. You have to worry about your own plate appearances, you have to worry about your defensive shifts, everything like that. I don't think people are worried about stealing signs at second base. It's not something that you do, but if a guy's throwing 1 for fastball, 4 for changeup, it's going to happen. You're going to get something like where you got one of these, or an extra long stride, or anything that anyone has ever done to steal signs at second base, which is really the only time that you have seen it done. Now, one other thing that you can consider cheating, which is what the Astros were allegedly accused of, is when the opposing pitcher is tipping pitches. So there was 2 instances. First off, it was Tyler Glass. Now, if I can find any instances, I'll go ahead and roll that right now.
These are 2 different pitches. It's where he rests his glove. That's what was going on. One is above the letters. One is below the letters. Above, fastball. Below, curveball. The Astros must have known this may happen going in and been on the lookout for it. The rest of the delivery is the same. It's just all where he...
And you would butterfly your glove to confuse them. I watched you walk after that first inning, go down with Paul Menhart. Tell me about how he saw that, or did you recognize that?
I definitely didn't, because, you know, it's something that, you know, has burned me in the past, and they burned me there in the first. But, you know, it's just a part of the game.
And then the second instance was actually in the World Series. Steven Strasburg, who won the World Series MVP, he was tipping pitches as well. So that's something that is in the laws of baseball. We've all played it before, and if not, you're probably very passionate about the game. Tipping pitches is not cheating. If you're going to go ahead and do 1, 2, and then come set, and every time you do that, it's a fastball, that is not my fault. If you're the catcher and throwing 1 and that's a fastball, again, that is not my fault. If you are going to give me free pitches, I will take that every single time. It's just the Apple Watches, it's the watching live camera feeds, it's the guy in center field who has a camera and is playing I Spy and then trying to dictate what the pitches are going to be thrown, and then he relays that to the pitching coach or whoever is in charge of stealing signs. That is not okay. So that pretty much wraps it up for me today. I know I did kind of ramble on, and this was kind of a random video. I don't really come out with shorter or medium length long videos, but I wanted to go ahead and pass this off to you now that you guys have seen the video. Yes, the Astros, it did come out that they did cheat. Again, I'm putting quotations because I still don't know if it's real, but then the video is right there and it's pretty much confirming that the Astros were stealing signs electronically because no one was on base. So if no one's on base and you know what pitch is about to be thrown, bang, bang, changeup, yeah, that pretty much is inferring that you are cheating, you know what you're doing, and you're okay with that. And the White Sox in 2017, if we go back, I don't think that they were a very good team. So the Astros, the fact that they played down to their opponent and actually tried to cheat, that is not a good that's not a good sign. So between the Astros, their former GM or co-GM, whatever he was, yelling profanities about Roberto Osuna towards women, and then they lose the World Series, and then this comes out that they stole signs back in 2017. Regardless of how arbitrary it was a random game against the White Sox. Who knows if they were doing that same thing in the postseason and maybe even the World Series against the Dodgers, in which they did one. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you on the side of it's okay to steal signs as long as you're not doing it electronically, or are you on the boat, or are you on the other side which says, you know what, it's the game of baseball. If you're going to go ahead and give signs, they're going to be stolen, just like rules are made to be broken. I'm not down for that. I'm in the camp of if you're stealing signs the old-fashioned way, runner on second base, or you're tipping pitches, that's on you. But if you're using iPhones, Apple Watches, Fitbits, everything else that I said in between, sorry, I can't approve that. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, slap a like on this one. And do not forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save $20 off any sporting tickets, concerts, anything like that. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.